Hello, party people. Coffee is required. I'll be right back. Coffee is required. Ooh, it's a little full. I got a little wild with the creamer. Hello, I see everybody's logging up. Hi, Rosanna. Hi, Designs and Do-Overs. Kristen. Hi, Linda. Hi, Donna. Donna Dragon Slayer's in the house. Hi, Abby. Good afternoon. Abby, if you're trying to do the commands, you go exclamation point, coffee, all one word, and then it'll do it. You can do exclamation point commands, and then it'll show you a list of all the commands. Is it commands or command? I think it's plural. I think it's plural. There you go. Now you got it. Yeah, then the little nightbot comes up. He says, coffee is required, because it is required. Here we are on a Wednesday. Hello all, welcome in. I'm Randee, Thunderhorse Descendant, if you are new here. If you are not new here, hi, since this morning. Hello again. Today we are going to work on feeling unsafe in my chair. That is it. I have got to get a new chair. I need help. Help is required. I feel like I'm just going to flop over backwards. I hate that. Hi, Randee and Thunder Chatters. Hi, Mary. So today you all are going to hang out with me while I get ready for my craft show. So I contacted Sherry, that's the name of the promoter. I contacted her this morning. I paid for my show for April 1st. We are in it to win it. We are invested $145. So, you know what that means. We got to get ready. Can't just be sitting around. We were not sitting around. I got Colorado done, if anybody was counting. Hi, Martha. And me and Shannon went to the Post. We talked to the Post people, but there was a new guy. I don't know what happened to old guy, but new guy's there, and he said he don't know nothing. He's gonna call me. I said, okay, great. Because it is Wednesday, me and Shannon went to the co-op, and we got our wild rice soup, chicken and wild rice soup, which is the best. If you ever happen to be in the area over here at some point in time on a Wednesday, highly recommend. But anyway, that's what I got going on. So we are going to talk about these guys. So I'm getting ready for the craft show. It's on the 1st of April and the 2nd. It's a 2-day show. And so these are the little packages that I'm making. I'm going to show you how to make them. And let me just flip it down here. So like here's what they look like. These are my little necklaces. I'm trying to like tip them so you can't see it all weird at the light. This is what we got going on. And so I made all these on the, you may have seen the video that I make these on. That was the one that where I said I lost footage. And so this was part of the footage that you missed, is I made all these. I made them, and then I stuck them on these little cards, and I get them ready to go. Now, my experience with this has been, so like this guy, as an example. You guys probably saw me make this. We made this on Facebook a long time ago. I don't know if you remember this little piece here. This kind of looks like a coral, and we used the vintage nails and the rivets, and that was the day we were putting those together. And so if you are unfamiliar with me, basically what I like to do for these situations, because I'm busy a lot, I'm always busy. I'm doing something. I'm on a video, I'm over here, I'm doing this, I'm putting together a box, I'm doing FOC stuff, I'm all over the place. So what I like to do is I like to take, when I do have time, and do one step of the process. Just the one step, that's all I do. So like before we did this, I went through and just made all the pendants. Or I make the pendants, I'll make extra pendants. Like say I got some extra patina paint from something I'm doing, I'll just paint some parts. And then when it's time to make pendants, I have some already painted parts, you know what I mean? So I went through and made all of these necklaces. Now they're all over here in just a jumbled up mess of a pile, because that's how I roll. And now today we're going to card them. So I'm going to show you how I make the cards. And then what I do with these at the show is I just put them in this, I have them like this. And then I'll have them in like a little wooden bowl where they're like easy to flip through. I don't hang them up or anything. You could. I mean, you could hang them up. But I usually put them in like a little bowl, wooden bowl or something, or I spread them out so people can see. And my experience has been that people really like to buy these. They were one of our top sellers last year. So here we are doing that. That's what we're doing. Do people ever want to open the little packages to see how the necklace would look on them? Not in my experience, no. When I tag them, these ones are not tagged yet because I haven't got to that part of the process yet. But when I go to price and tag them, I will put a tag on there. So I have this little tiny labeler that I just recently got. It's the ones that we use for doing the little tags on the bags of the inspirational bundle. So we can just type on there and then put it. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put on the tag like 18-inch chain, you know, whatever else specific I want to mention about it, like if it's stainless steel or sterling silver or if it's a specific gemstone or something, like I'll put that on there. And then, but, okay, I do not put the price with that label. I put the price with a separate little tiny little tag. And you're like, but why? Because at some shows, like if I have a whole bunch of them and they're not selling, instead of having to completely redo the label because it's got a different price on it or maybe scratch it out or something, I can just re-stick over with a little tiny price tag that you get at like the Walmart or something. So maybe I was going to sell them for $17, but they're not selling for $17, so maybe I sell them for $15. Then I can just remark that part. You know what I mean? Okay. Hi, Randee and team. What is the length of the change that you typically use and ballpark range for pricing in your area? Good question, Eve. Most of the time I use an 18-inch to 20-inch chain. These ones that we're doing today I think are all 18 inches. If I put extenders on them, I will usually put on the label that they have a 2-inch extender. But for the most part, they're like 18 to 20 inches. If I use anything longer than that, I have a different like display that I hang, like the longer ones, the like 30-inch, like anything over really like even 24 inches I think I put on there. So if I want to have a different chain or like a longer chain, those ones usually go on this long thing that I have. But anyway, I will bring additional chains with me to the show, like not a whole bunch of them, but like longer one. So if somebody says like, oh, I really like this, but you know, I wish it had a 24-inch chain, I can say, oh, well, I have a 24-inch chain. We can just swap it out. Easy peasy. Hello, they look good in the baggies. Hi. Hi, Galen. Welcome in. You started the season with a bang, a 2-dayer. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, Mary. So I made goals. I don't know if you guys were around in the beginning of the year, but my goals were to be doing more craft shows this year and focusing on selling more jewelry, because there's only so much time in a day, and a lot of the time is like beads, beading, making, and then it's like, okay, that's fine. Everybody loves that. But then it's like, but now we have all this stuff that we made. So we got to do something with it. So I was like, I'm going to work on that this year. So anyway, you're welcome. So I have been working on the different things. Now I will say Diane Ritter, I always like to credit her on this. Diane Ritter works at Taylor's Falls Bead Store. She has for like, forever, I don't know. She is the one who taught me how to do it like this, because she does a lot of shows and I'm just like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get all these things done. And she was like, you have to sit down and just do it kind of like an assembly. So as an example, these are all pendants. These are all pendants that after I have them made, I put them in there. And so then when I go to do the chain part and put on the little decorative pieces, then that could be a different day, right? Somebody asked me if I could sell them some of my pendants, my handmade pendants. I said, sure. So I told Shannon, as long as she reminds me, that we would run some of them through the sale on Monday. If you guys want some, obviously I have a lot. All right, let's get this party started, shall we? Here we are. So, what area is your shows? My show is going to be in Forest Lake. I'm in Minnesota. So, it's going to be in Forest Lake. That's the first show. And I pretty much generally have like a little radius around Cambridge, because that's where I'm at in Minnesota, which is, if you are unfamiliar, north of the cities. This is a piece of cardstock. I just brought this up here so I could show you guys how I cut them out. I have this guy right here. This is I don't know if I'm ever saying this right, is it Fiskars punch. This is what I use. Now and I'm gonna lie to you, I got mine, where did I get this? Did I get this at the used store? No. Oh, I got it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby on clearance is what I got, where I got mine. And I've had it forever, and I highly recommend. Now I did run into Amazon to see if they had a link for people who maybe needed one. That link is in the description of this video if you want one. I will say they've got theirs online for $32. However, it is a pretty cool punch because it not only makes the tag, but it also will make hanging tags for you if you like them. So I would recommend maybe doing a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby, seeing if they have one, and then utilizing a coupon if you can. Good afternoon. Okay, so I'm going to punch these out just for show. This is cardstock. I got it at Hobby Lobby. It looks like wood, and I always use this one. In the package that I get, it's a pretty cheap package, and they're 8x10 sheets. And it comes with, I want to say, 5 or 6 different colors of wood. It's the same design, but it comes with different colors of wood. So like this is the same kind, but it's brown. This is the same kind, but it's just a different color. Not that that matters, but that's what I use. You wouldn't want to do it on just regular paper because it needs to be a little bit heavy so it doesn't like just flap over, you know? So here we go. We're gonna put this in there. Punch it. I'm punching on my thingy. Probably shaking the whole table. This is what it looks like. Now, I just leave them like this because I'm not that picky, but if you wanted to, this punch has a little thing right here. So you punch it, you punched it in the bottom, over here in the front, it's got this little thing. Now I will say that this little thing is the exact size of a standard business card. So if you are a person who likes to do your thingamabobs on your business cards, or you like to be able to attach the business cards to something, this is perfect for you because it'll line it up in the center every time. I do it at Christmas time. I attach my business cards to like baggies and stuff. So you put it in there, push it down, it's gonna punch a hole. Flip it around this way, you put your eyelet here. Oh, you can't see that. You put your eyelet right here. And then you would put this on there and you would push and you would get your eyelet set. I don't have eyelets up here and I don't really care that much. So here we are. But it is a pretty cool little punch. Even if you had to pay full price for it, honestly, I would pay that if I had to. How much do you sell the bags if necklaces for? In the bags? Oh, like the bags of like how much do I sell these for? Like these guys? Generally, it depends on what's on them. So I put a bunch of different things on them. Sometimes like expensive genuine stones, and sometimes handmade riveted things like this. Sometimes just little pendants, so it kind of depends. But for the most part, I would say that they are generally never less than about $15. I would say like $15 and up. Probably. So, another cool thing about this punch, this is going to be loud. I should maybe mute this. Hold on. Another cool thing about this punch is that it has its own line right here. So when you put the paper in, you see how like, okay, let's use this as an example. This is not a straight line, but when you put this in, it has a space where it's gonna line it up straight anyway. So you're not gonna end up with a funky thing, which I like. Sometimes I over punch because I just get going so fast that I over punch, but that's kind of a me situation. Oh, sorry. I don't know if my muting was helpful, but I tried. All right, so there we go. Here we go with all of our little pieces. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Here's what they look like. And I just use neutral colors of paper. That's why I use this wood, because I never know what I'm going to be putting on it. La-di-da. That is a very cool punch. Yes, it is very cool. I'm telling you, if I had to pay $32 for it, I would. And that's saying a lot because I'm cheap. I have used this eyelet thing before. It does work. And that this little thing is the same size as a business card. Works out pretty handy. So highly recommend that guy. Okay. Now we will go to this. This is my little bag of junk. Here we are. Do you get your cellophane bags from Amazon or someone else? If so, who? I do get them from, well, I get them in two places. These ones, I think these ones I actually got from, did these come from Amazon? I know these ones came from Amazon. These ones I think came from Amazon as well, but I can't swear to that. They might have, if they didn't, they came from Panda Haul. These ones have, they're pretty easy to recognize because these ones have a little clear thing in the top. So it's got that little thing where you can hang it up if you want to. You can't see that because it's see-through right here. See that? So it's got like a topper. So there's that whole situation. And this is really all we do. So I have these size to put the whole thing in, and I thought these were marked and they're not, so I will measure them for you as soon as I find my ruler. Okay, so here's the thing. Me and Shannon have gone through this numerous times. When we're trying to order these, it's like, how do they measure them? Because some companies measure the entire thing, and some people don't measure the entire, they don't measure like the flap where it's supposed to fold up. So I'm going to measure the entire thing. The entire thing is 5.5 inches long by 2.25 inches wide. 5.5 long, 2.25 wide. The whole long thing doesn't really matter that much, like if it's 4 or whatever, because I'm just putting this little thing in there. What matters is the width. It's got to be more than what we're putting in there, so it's 2.25, a little over 2.25. So that's the doings with that. That is very cool. Thank you. Hope you're all having a lovely day. Sorry we had to do work today. Those are the rules. So, okay, I'm going to get some stuff here. These are some that I've already punched that are brown. I'm just going to get them in a pile. We're going to use these guys. And then I have these little bags here. I would highly recommend using probably these ones. You can use other stuff. These guys right here are a 1.5 by 1.5 inch bag. You can get these on Amazon. They come like this. You have to tear them to part, and they're just little bags. Okay, this is what I tape onto the back. Now, the reason I like this is because when you put the chain in there, it goes in there pretty easy, and then you can, you know, zip-locky it up on itself, so it's not going to move so much. So I like those. We happen to have some of these itty bitty teeny tiny guys, and I was like, oh, maybe I could use those on here. And I was able to use them on these, on some of the stuff, but not too much, because these are 1 by 1. So I don't recommend those. They're too small. I recommend the 1.5 by 1.5 inches. If you can't get a hold of any of those, or if you simply just don't like them, you can also use these 1.5 by 1.5 cellophane bags. And these are the same, except for you got to tear off this little sticky bit and you got to push it down. So it's kind of up to you, however you want to go with that. I kind of just go with what we have at the time. All right, so then these are all the ones that I made. I put them into bags so they didn't get all tangled up. I'm sending them back tomorrow. They're way too small. Yeah, they're very small. These ones, Lori, they're so tiny. Like, this is like for real dime bag right here. I can't even get it open. It's so little. This is the 1 by 1. But probably like you, I saw them and I was like, oh, the measurement did not register in my head. But yeah, it's very tiny. I mean, I guess if you had some itty bitty beads or something, I don't know. I don't even know if itty bitty beads will fit in there. Okay. So we have some of these guys, and I'm just gonna grab one off. We'll start with that one. These are empty, and then I need a right here. Probably doesn't have very much sticky business left. Let's see. Ooh. So this is my lint roller. Highly recommend having one of these, especially if you are going to be doing any kind of stuff with the cellophane, am I saying it wrong? Whatever. The cellophane bags, because they have that pull-off part. And these little things will stick to everything, but the reason that me and Shannon always put them on here is because when Bunsen was a baby, he used to try to eat them. And so we don't want that. So cat safety, use a sticky thing. Here we go. Oh, double stick tape. We need double stick tape. This is double stick tape. You can get it at your local, wherever you get stuff, Walmart, wherever you're at. And we're gonna zoom in a little bit. This is like tippy, I feel like. Hold on. Oh. Ooh, too much. All right, here we go. Here we go, boys and girls. So we're just gonna grab up one of these tags that we made. We're gonna get our pendant ready. Usually I'm by myself, so I just sit and I listen to my book. And I just do this for hours. So here is our little pendant. Oh yes, this is the Hunger Games guy. Little Hunger Games. These are all alcohol inked. And then I put on the little charms. I think I made this one on the show, but I don't know if you guys got to see it. Okie doke. So then all we do is you're going to take your scissor. This is not the scissor I want to use for this. Let me just tell you what. Don't do it. Just everybody just do us a favor and don't ever get a camouflage scissor because you'll never be able to find it. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a little slit right here. Then we're going to come over to the other side. We're going to make another one. Do they have to be perfect? No, they don't. Don't even worry about it. It's fine. You're going to take your chain. And put it on there. You want it to be kind of up higher on like pretty up close because just in case it slides for some reason. So you want it to be in there pretty good. And then what I do is I take that same side, I go around one more time. And now you have this. So now you get your little bag, your zippy bag, get that open. And you get your double stick tape. And you make sure there ain't no cat hair on there, okay? Because that ain't cute for anybody. Stick it on the bag. And then you just hold this up and just get it in there. Gravity is your friend. And then you go up like about to here and stick the bag on. Okay, and then you can squish in the Ziploc. And what I'm going to do is take this guy. And then I make sure that I got the front going the right way. Put him in there. Pull this off. Line it up. Ta-da! There you go. If anything's in there weird, you can kind of squish it over a little bit, but for the most part, it works out pretty good. Give it a little shake, and there you go. Donezo. And you just add that to the pile with the other ones. And they look super cute. So then on the back, you would put your label, and then you would take one of those little rectangular white stickers is what I use, and I'd just put the price on there and I'd stick it at the bottom. Easy peasy. Let's do another. What do we have here? Oh, just a little turtle, a little alcohol ink turtle. And I reuse all these baggies from everything. I have a little drawer, so I always just put those in a pile and then they go back into the... This one doesn't want to go down all the way. To the reusable bag pile. Bring it around again. Look how cute he is. I can't see because it's blurry. Look how cute he is. Perfect. Right? So this is all I do. I think the packaging, in my personal opinion, just makes them a little more appealing for people. Or if they want to give a gift or buy a present, say it's like Christmas time or something, or, you know, like we're moving into like Easter, Mother's Day, you know, the drill, the holiday doings. I think it's easier if people have a little gift. Do you like using alcohol inks or patina paints better, or does it depend on the item? It just depends on, it doesn't really matter to me actually. I don't really have a preference. I guess I kind of like patina paints better just simply because of the smell. I'm really sensitive to smells. And when I use alcohol inks, it's like huffing a whole bunch of Sharpie markers. So I'm just like, meh. But I like to alcohol ink my charms and my pendants if I'm gonna do these things, because I think it just kind of gives them a little bit of like interest, you know, instead of them just being like a silver. And it's also a way for you to like kind of individualize your charms, or if you have charms that maybe you don't really like so much, you know, when you're like, oh, these are not great, then there you go. This is what you do with them. This one I put a little lava rock on so he can be an essential oil leaf. Now sometimes with these bigger guys, these bigger pendants, they'll hang down past the card. But for the most part, it's fine because when you put them in the baggie, they're going to get moved up. You know, as long as it's not like a whole lot. So, I don't really worry about that too much. Shannon's downstairs working on the box, you guys. I'm so excited. Not the box, the bundle. Sorry. The bundle. It pushes it up a little bit, you can see, but for the most part it's good to go. So that's some of my pendants that I'm doing. I have these ones made so far. So I'll put them in a little box so people can just flip through them, but they turned out pretty good. I made these little teeny tiny guys with the little crystal. They're stainless steel little charms. They're super cute. Okay, then we got some earrings I also have to card up. I'm not done with pendants, but you know, we're just keeping it interesting over here. Keeping it interesting over here. Oh, do I not have any little whatamajigamabs? Here's the little price tags I was talking about. So I just keep these in a pencil box. These are my little earring cards. And for the most part, I will price them when I put them on the card. But I don't have any earring nuts up here, so let me see if the intercom system's working. Hold on a second. Hey Shannon, can you bring me some silicone earring nuts for these earrings? There's some in the multicolored cart in the earring findings drawer. They are in a cup. She's working on it. She be working on it. When you sell earrings on cards, do you... Oh. Thank you. When you sell earrings on cards, do you remove the black card and keep it, or does it go with the person? No, I give it to the person. These are really cheap. I get them from, what the heck is the name of that place? Supply Warehouse? Store Supply Warehouse, I think is what it's called. But you do have to pay freight from them. So I only order these, I usually order them in bulk. Because I only order them when I have to order like boxes or something. But you get like a whole bag of them, like 100 for like $2 or something. So I send them with. And I have always used these ones because they fit on my earring rack really well. Let's see what we got going on here. Hold on a second. Oh yeah, my fishies. Alcohol inked fishies. Fishy, fishy, toucan bird, skeleton fishy. Oh, you guys remember these. We made these on the show. Those are quite smashing. I was going to keep them for myself, but then I was like, no, you can't keep everything, Randee. Do you ever have that where you're like, you can't keep everything? But it's sorted. Here's some little tiger's eye earrings. Some of these these are some of us they're just charms, because some people are into that. They like just the little, just the something little. And you know, a lot of my earrings that I have are not little. So I was like, okay, we'll make you some little stuff. Little sparrow. Oh, these ones we made this morning. These are not the ones I wanted, but they'll work for now. Little earrings? What is that? Rosanna says. I know, right? Are these all like this? Yeah. Okay. It's fine. I usually use the these ones for post earrings, but it's whatever. I don't care. So if you're wondering what I'm doing over here, these are velvet on there, and so I always give them I stick them on there and I pull it off to get off the junkety junk, the dust and what have you. Just because it's a thing. I hear a weird noise. These are little froggies. You see them on the little lily pad? Super cute. When selling just charm earrings, about how much do you charge if there are no crystal or beads involved in the design? I charge about $8. About $8. Generally never less than $7. For these ones, they're alcohol inked, which is extra time. So these ones are, you know, probably like $8, $9. See, I think the thing about the selling, I get a lot of questions about selling. And here's the thing. There's a lot of things to consider when you are selling. And it's like, well, it's just a charm, and it's, you know, it's just a charm, and you just put it on an earring wire. It's not that hard to do. It doesn't take much time. You know, that's true. But what does take time is you have to card all these up. You have to make sure they're okay. You got to put them on the card. You got to include the card, all the earring things, the backs. You got to take them to the show. You got to time out of your day to get them over there. You got to price them. You got to keep track of your inventory. You got to do all that stuff. And all that stuff is time. And your time is valuable. So, another thing to consider when pricing is you have to consider what other people are pricing at. Because, as an example, I just went to the show the other day and I bought a pair of just charm earrings. They were giraffes. And I think I paid, what did I pay for those? I think it was $10. It was either $10 or $14 for the giraffe charm earrings. And I know you're thinking, as a beader, you're thinking, Randee, what are you doing? You could have just come home and made those. Yeah, I could have, but I didn't. Number one, because I wanted to support little what's-her-face, because she's just new to beading and she didn't have any sales because all of her little slots were filled up. But also, you know, it takes time to do all that. It takes time to go into the craft show and set up your booth and do all those things and, you know, carry all that stuff around and whatever. And also, as a person, who's a beader, you think differently than a person who is a consumer. And I think as we move forward in, look at these little angelfish. I think as we move forward in that way of thinking, it took me a long time. I used to just want to kill Jeff. I don't know if you guys know this. Poor Jefferson. My poor Jefferson, he just went through all the things. What's happening? Why is this not letting me move? There we go. Because Jefferson's in sales, right? He sells roofs. Different from jewelry, but still sells. And when I very first started going to shows and stuff, I was like, well, yeah, but I can get those beads for like $8 or whatever. And he was like, right, you can. But why can you do that? And I was like, well, because I have a number. And he's like, yeah, and how'd you get a number? And I was like, I got a number because I decided I was going to sell things and be a business. And he's like, and you had to go through all this hoopla and you had to file all that with the state and whatever. And he's like, and as just a normal consumer, they're not going to do that. They don't have access to that. So even though you can get beads for $8, doesn't mean that they can. And so they have to pay for that. And I was like, what? That's weird. Because I want to be nice, you know? And he's like, yeah, but if you're so nice and you lose all your money, you're never going to be able to have a business. How are you going to sustain your business? He's like, because you may be able to make enough, like if you're charging just like, say you're charging, you know, lower than you should be. Let's say you're charging $5 for these, when you should be charging at least $10. If you had the $10, you would have enough money to get to the show, do all the things, buy the beads, like you'd probably be able to do if you had the $5. But also, if you did the $10, you'd probably also be able to buy yourself some food and maybe pay your electric bill, which is also important. Because we have to pay for those things. We can't just say that we're not going to, because I wish we could, but we can't. We have to pay for them. So that's how that kind of works out. And I really struggled with it when I started doing this, because I wanted, well, actually there was two problems. The first problem was I didn't think that I was worth that amount of money, which is not true. It's just not true. Every person in this group, well, pretty much every person, I've seen your beading. Pretty much every person. You're worth that amount of money. I don't care what they said. You are. And that's just, that was just me gaining confidence and becoming a beader. Because I was new to beading and I was like, is this good? And then you see all these other people, you're like, well, their stuff's really good. You know? And you have doubts. So you don't charge as much because you think, well, maybe this is not as good as what it should be, so I'm going to charge less. And that is not always the best way to go. See, now for these, I would charge, I would probably charge, now a lot of you saw me make these. You know how long it took. I would probably charge, no less than $35, but probably more about $45 for these. Because that's how much time it took to make them. And you'll hear from people like, oh, well, I could go and buy that. Yes, you could. That's your option. You're not going to get this. I can guarantee you that. You can't like buy this at the Walmart. You could probably find something like it. But part of buying handmade is buying unique items. And people at this, especially now, are very much into unique items. These are one of a kind. You know, so they like that aspect of it. I mean, I think they're one of a kind. I mean, I showed all of you guys how to make them. I don't know if anybody made any. But these are the only ones I made. So there you go. There's that. So I'd probably charge about $45 for those. The other part that I was struggling with when I was doing this whole pricing thing was not only the self-confidence, but also I just really wasn't aware. I was confused about like, You know, like, so I'd buy something, and if I bought it on sale, like say I found it on clearance, some beads, right? I found some clearance beads. I would use the clearance price to try to figure out the, you know, the equation that we always talk about, to figure out the equation. And Jefferson told me that that is inappropriate, because he's like, yeah, they probably could have also, because I was like, well, I got these on clearance. That doesn't seem fair. He's like, yeah, but they don't know that. You should charge the regular price, because what if somebody wants some more and now you can't get them on clearance? Now you have to pay full price, and the full price was regularly $5.99. So now you're going to make them another pair of these or whatever, and you're going to eat that cost because you didn't charge the actual price to begin with. And I was like, what? I used to get so mad. Pricing is a confidence thing. I hear that at least once a year. I could get these cheaper. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, well, you could get them cheaper. Go ahead. That's what I always say. Okay, go ahead. You go on and make them. Because we all know that ain't going to work out. Because that's the other thing. You have to buy, you guys know, you buy beads from me, right? You have to buy the strand. You can't buy 2 beads to make a pair of these really cool earrings. You got to buy the whole strand, and the whole strand is probably $18. So when you buy the strand of $18, what am I looking for? Oh, the tape. Where'd the tape go? Tape, tape, tape. Here it is. When you buy the strand of $18 worth of beads, you're pretty much, and you wanted to make earrings out of them. Let's say you want to make earrings. You're going to just use 2 beads for the earrings. And now you're committing to making 25 pairs of earrings, or how many ever beads are on the strand, and you're committing to selling, right? Because that's kind of how we do it. To selling 25 pairs of earrings. That's your point about buying this strand of beads. Well, if the person who wants those are saying, well, I could make them, you know, I can make those, whatever. It's like, yeah, well, you probably could, but you didn't have to commit to buying the whole $18 strand of beads, and now have the task of trying to make 25 pairs of earrings and selling 25 pairs of earrings, right? And also, that's just silly to say to somebody. I hear it a lot, though. But when people say that, I'm just like, yeah, well, you can't get this at Walmart. Do you want to know why I know that? Because I made this. Because I alcohol inked this, and I riveted it, and I hit it with a hammer, and then I layered it on top of this other one. And then I put this little lava charm on there. And then I spent the day with my friends packaging it up. So, there you go. I had a sign that said, you can make this, but are you going to? Oh, sassy, Kristen. Kristen got sassy. It's a good point. It is a good point. Are you going to make that? Maybe. You know what, though? I've had people ask me to take photos. This was before I was on the internet. They asked me if they could take pictures of my items. Oh, there was 2 instances. First one was a lady who wanted, I had made some keychains, and she wanted the clasp on the keychain. And she said to me, I'm going to take it home and tear it apart and just use the clasp. So can I just buy the clasp? And I said, no. And then she got all mad. And I said, well, you can do with it whatever you want, but you're going to have to pay the price of $7 if you want to do that. Because I already put the time in and sourced all of the materials, and they're right here in front of you, and you don't have to wait to take them home, but you have to pay $7. Then you can do with it whatever you want. Yeah, whatever. Do what you want. But yeah, I really struggled with the pricing thing. I I don't struggle with it now. Another person who was helpful to me during that situation was not my Jeff. Well, he was helpful, but also Bead Jeff was helpful because he taught me a lot about like kind of like we're talking about, like you have to buy a strand of beads. So if a person says like, oh, well, I can make that cheaper, you can't, because you still got to buy the strand of beads, you know, or whatever. You still got to buy the whole bag of clasps. If you're just, because, you know, these people are probably, you know, just like random people, and they're going to go try to make it at the Hobby Lobby store, right? So another thing you pay for when you purchase these handmade items is you're paying for, you know, the craftsmanship versus if you just went to the Walmart or the wherever, the Target, and bought something. Because most handmade makers are proud of what they do. They want their things to be good. They're more than likely, they've spent a lot of time tweaking it and making sure that this is something that is going to stay together. They've worked on their technique and their skills, and it's going to stay together a lot better than something that just come flying off an assembly line, you know? Jeff! The nerve of people. And so you're paying for that experience in your items. A lot of times if you buy something from a handmade maker and that thing happens to break, or you've worn it for 18... I had a gal from the mailroom in Minot, North Dakota, called me up 8 years later, and she said, hey, Randee, do you remember that pearl lanyard you made me? I said, yes. And she said, it didn't break or anything, but I've just been wearing it for so long that all the white string is gross. Can you replace the string? I was like, yes. Send it on over. And I got it back, and I can't even believe it was still staying together. It was so, she wore it in the mailroom, and she put her keys on it. Like, you know, like a lanyard that goes around, and then she put her keys and her name tag on it. She wore it every day for like 8 years. I'm not even exaggerating. So I made her another one. I made this one black, thinking ahead. Well, yeah, that's another thing too, Kristen. It is your, you know, kind of your design, your style of things, you know, and you're not going to get that really in just everyday life. You're just not. Now, people could try to replicate it, whatever, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that, you know, most of the time, handmade makers really make it a point to make sure their stuff is going to stay together. You know, it's a pride thing. It's not just something that's rolling off the assembly line. You know, they take a lot of pride in it. They put work into it and whatever. This is kyanite, very cute. That one would be more expensive because it's kyanite. Not my Jeff, Bead Jeff. Yeah, Randee, when she has to clarify her Jeffs. I have too many Jeffs in my life. Coffee is required. So anyway, this is what I'm doing today. Oh, it's already been a few minutes. I got a few minutes. Hold on. I can do one more. It's like, geez, that doesn't seem like it took that long, but then I forgot that we cut them out on the thing. Is that one gonna fit on there? I did not anticipate that. I'm gonna cut this one up a little higher because I think if I cut it a little higher, we'll be okay. Either way, I think that, you know, if you have those people, I just think, well, that's too bad for those people. Because, you know, if they're being naughty and mean and saying things, you know, it's just like, okay, you're obviously having some kind of bad time. And I'm just not into that negativity. You can just miss me with that negativity because I'm having a great time. Usually I'm having a great time at the craft show. I'm talking to people. You know how I love to talk. I'm talking to people and visiting and marketing and handing out cards and eating all the junk food. Jefferson is the runner. I'm just like, is there this? Most of the time I don't even get to see the show because I don't get to walk around till like later. Although, I will say this. My Jefferson is getting better at identifying stones in the course of all of these years that we've been doing this. So when I leave the table, I feel confident now in year, what is this, 5 of selling? Is this 5 years? The 5th year, I feel confident I can leave the table and he's not going to tell somebody the wrong stone. So there's that. I got that going for me. This show that I'm going to on the April 1st, it's a spring show. And I want to finish up with some of those sun catchers. I want to finish up some of those alcohol-ink sun catchers. I have one. I have to put the dangly bits on it. I've just been busy, you know. But maybe this weekend I can do up some of those. And then I do have some of the ones that my grandma made. My grandma and grandpa. I don't know if you know this. My grandma and grandpa make sun catchers. Basically out of bead soup, kind of. My grandpa drills out all the wood. And then my grandma beads them when she has time. So I got a few left of those rolling around. I want this one to be going down. It's bugging me. I don't think it's gonna go down. Cute. Can we see a close-up of your earrings? The ones I'm wearing or these ones? These ones? These ones are cool. These ones are tiger's eye. My mom said, you have to make some little ones for people. The ones you're wearing. Oh, these are my little fish with the eyeballs. We just sold those eyeball beads. I love them. I've just been putting them on everything. They're going to be great at Halloween. These earrings are little owls. And these I didn't make. These ones were made by Gina. She is a Thunderhorse Descendant. Miss Gina. She owns Jewels by Gina. No, Lakeside. What is it? Lakeside Jewels by Gina. Lakeside Jewels by Gina on Etsy. Miss Gina. She made these for me. I thought it was cool. She must have used this as must be a toggle clasp, and this is the bar part. Because you know, I'm always looking for something to do with the bar part of the toggle. Because sometimes I'll use the round part, the female part of the toggle clasp. And then I'm like, what am I going to do with all these bars? But these ones were probably sticks to begin with. They kind of look like sticks. But it's a good idea. Yeah, they're very great. And I should just put some little leaves on there. I can't remember if I ordered these. I think I ordered these from her site. But then she also sent me a gift, and I can't remember if these were the gift or if these were the... I think I ordered these. Sometimes I like to go on a little Etsy ordering spree because I like to support handmade people. So usually I like to get on there and start ordering stuff. I love these. This is just like little birds, but they're so cute. And I love these because they're just little angelfish. I really love angelfish. Well, I think they're angelfish anyways. And they're just cute. I like them. Sometimes you just gotta like them. So anyway, that's what I got going on. I hope that you are all having a wonderful, spectacular, amazing day. We did get a little bit accomplished here, a little bit of packaging going on, so that's good. I hope some of the things that I told you were helpful for your doings. And if you wanted to make some of these, you now know how to do it. And you would just have to get this little guy. I did put a link in the description for Amazon, but like I said, I might try going to like a Michael's and using a coupon. Might be a thing. I think that's where I got mine. Do you have a tutorial on your eye earrings? No, I don't. When did I make those? I made those. That was part of the footage I lost. I just made them the other day. Because I have all these alcohol ink charms, which everybody was like, we want some alcohol ink charms. And I said, okay. So I'm going to get some alcohol ink charms going for Monday for the sale. And also handmade pendants, which I obviously have a whole tub of them. I also have a bunch of cabochon pendants too, so that's like these ones that I've made because I just think they're fun to make with this little girl. And then I just set them. So I have a bunch of those too. So I usually just put them like that, and then I add the business, you know, the details, as I like to say. So here's one with business, and then let's see if here's another one with business. Here's one with some business, and you just add your little cuteness on there, however you see fit. That one looks like a little angel baby with wings. And you know I love it because it's orange. So they can be cute if you dress them up, I think. I also really like to use those, and you guys might think this is weird. My favorite thing to use those cabochon, those like glass cabochon things for, is not necklaces, it's keychains. We also have to make some keychains now that I'm thinking about it. One more thing before we go. I don't know if this is gonna make it to the sale. Let me show it to you. I made it and I was just like, I really might have to keep that. Thanks for the info and your time as the cost of supplies. Oh yes. So I don't know if you can see this very good. Not so much, but it is alcohol inked. And it's just really slight, but it's kind of alcohol inked. The light might be giving it a weird shine. But I just love this piece, and for a million years I was like, what am I gonna do with this? And then I was gonna hang some more bits on the bottom, and I was like, Randee, let's not be getting crazy. So anyway, I was like, I'm just gonna make it for the show, and I'm gonna put it on there, and I'm gonna make it into a pendant. And now I'm like, I don't know if I can let it go. Do you ever have that? Or you're just like, I don't know. Do you seal the ink, the alcohol ink on your pieces? No, I don't. I do not seal it. You can. You can seal it by doing a Krylon clear coat spray, which you can get at Walmart. But no, I don't. I don't seal it with alcohol ink. Alcohol ink, patina paint is supposed to be permanent for metals. You can seal them if you want to. I don't seal them. And the reason that I don't seal them is because I think for my personal aesthetic, which is, if we're being honest, kind of grungy, it doesn't matter to me if it wears off. It's like a patina. So if it gets like a little piece starts wearing off here or whatever, like it's like, that's just even better. I like that more. If that is not your deal, this would go really good with this shirt. Okay, focus. Focus. If that's not your deal, you can always seal them. Seal them with Krylon, seal them with a patina clear coat, by just brushing it over the top. The number one reason that I don't seal usually is because it gives it a shiny, glossy effect. And a lot of my stuff, I don't want to have a glossy effect. I want it to look vintage or look rustic. I don't know if that's really primitive. A lot of my stuff, not necessarily these things, but a lot of my stuff, I want it to look primitive, look rustic, look grungy, kind of like that's just kind of my style. And so I don't want it to have a glossy finish. Now they do have a matte finish type of things, and I have used those before. Yeah, sure, if you want to. I like this. Yay. Yeah, so that's what I got going on today. I will probably sit here and continue to do this for the next 20 minutes until Shannon leaves. Because it's Wednesday. Tomorrow we're going to get together and we are going to get the SKU list ready for next week. So I'm going to include some alcohol ink charms that are already alcohol inked because some people said that they wanted that. And that's kind of another one of those things. Like, this is the perfect example. I could sell you alcohol ink charms. Of course, they'll be more expensive because I'm taking my time to alcohol ink them and using my alcohol inks, my product, to alcohol ink them, but I will sell them to you, right? It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same process. That way, you don't have to buy a bunch of alcohol inks in a bunch of different colors buy the whole bottle of alcohol ink to make a few charms, right? I will sell them to you, but they're going to be a higher price. It's kind of the same thing when you make, like, if you took that idea and you put it in your craft show. Like, if you're going to sell alcohol ink charms and you made them, you're obviously going to charge more for them because you had to buy all the stuff to make them. You know what I mean? It's a thing. Yeah, hope you have a wonderful afternoon. I'm going to jump off here. I hope you're all having a wonderful, spectacular, amazing beading day. And if you're not, I hope you are now. Don't forget to head over to the Facebook group and do hashtag what's on my mat today. Show us what you're working on. We'd love to see what you got. Also, a reminder for the Found Objects Challenge. If you're working on your Found Objects Challenge, don't forget you need to post your completed projects. Also, for your inspirational bundle, you need to post those by the 3rd at midnight, April 3rd at midnight, in order to get a ducky. This is for duckies. Quack, quack. Okay? Okay. All right, y'all. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you tomorrow morning.